welcome to Badger News Network Exclusive. I'm Kaden Greenfield, the Editor-In-Chief of the Madison Misnomer, and today our guest is Hayley Sperling, the Editor-In-Chief of the Badger Herald. How are you, Hayley?
I'm great, thanks. Nice to be here.
Yeah, great to see you. Have you seen the film Newsies?
I haven't seen Newsies.
It's definitely an anti-journalism film. It centers on these kids who eventually take down the bigwigs that are in charge of the industry. So, you know, not great for you. How do you get back from that depiction?
It's hard, no matter what you do. Everyone hates you. Even if, they're not politicians or, other heavy-hitting players, someone's always mad at the journalists. So it's just kind of keeping our heads up and keep doing what we're doing because we think it's important. And, in the end, people, I think, don't really consider what would happen if the journalists went away.
It's been a while since a man has been editor-in-chief of the Badger Herald. How do you ensure that your voice is representative of the patriarchy on campus?
This year, we've seen kind of a turnover into a more male-dominated newsroom and staff, so we'll kind of have to see where we go from the future. But, we're trying to be innovators in all ways, and we've had women at the head of this organization for the past 4 or so years, and I'm not mad about it.
So it sounds like the Yes All Men movement is making strides in your workplace.
The Yes All Men, it's something that we think about. We deal a lot with angry Meninist tweets in our mentions. It's not a fun place to be, and they're not always reasonable people to deal with.
Where do you typically eat on production nights?
It's a lot of Noodles and Company. It's a lot of PDR, Pizza de Roma.
Do the establishments from which you order food on these nights know that they're literally fueling your agenda?
We haven't talked about it explicitly, but I kind of have a feeling that Noodles and PDR and Paul's, they're catching on to it.
Calling yourself editor and chief seems like a bit much. I also think it might be a little offensive to call yourself chief. It's a little bit of a cultural appropriation situation. Why keep that controversial, inflated title?
There are some things that you just don't mess with. This is one of the traditions that we've had in place since we were founded in 1969. And
The Gap was also started in 1969. Were there any conflicts of interest going on there, perhaps?
Conflict of interest? No, we cover them fairly and equally, just as we would anyone else.
We're both in charge of news outlets, yet the way we report the news is completely different. Why is that?
Well, you're right. We have virtually nothing in common. So, essentially how news works is, you go out, you find the story, and you report on it fairly and factually.
But where are the jokes?
The jokes are on our diversion section, which is the back sides of the paper. You'll see those on pages, I think it's 28 through 32 every Tuesday.
People will read our content and they'll laugh, whereas people will read yours and they might cry. What are you doing wrong here?
I think it's not what we're doing wrong. I think it's a testament of what the world is doing wrong, and we're just kind of the bearers of bad news in this situation, fortunately. If people cry, it's a testament to the emotion that they feel when they read our stories.
Well, as a man, I never cry, so... On a scale of 7 to 10, how religious should journalism be?
How many commandments are there?
10 or 11?
Maybe that.
How do you feel about different news outlets manipulating their footage to put across their own agenda?
I'm not mad about it.
This has been a Badger News Network exclusive. My name is Kaden Greenfield, and I'm Editor-in-Chief of the Madison Misnomer. Our guest today was Hayley Sperling. Hayley, thank you so much for being on the program.
Thanks for having me.
Before we head out, is there anything else you would like to say?
What do you think of the black sheep?
Ah.